Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson we are going to do 2021 Mathematics Advanced Multiple Choice Questions. Of course, there is the PDF versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, which of the following is equivalent to sine square of 5x? So first of all, we know that cos square of theta plus sine square of theta is equal to 1. This is one of the trig identity. So this means that cos square of 5x, if we add sine square of 5x is equal to 1. So if I move cos square of 5x on this side, so this means that we move cos square of 5x on this side. So that becomes sine square of 5x will give me 1 minus cos square of 5x. So therefore, the answer should be B. So 1 minus cos square of 5x is equal to sine square of 5x. So there you go. Question number 2. The probability distribution table is a discrete random variable x is shown. So we have the x, which is 1, 2, 3, and the probability is 0.6, 0.3, and 0.1. What is the expect value of x? So the expect value, so I can write here, the expect value of x is equal to sum x times the probability of x. So where x is start from 1 to 3, because it's from 1 to 3. So we just go 1 times 0.6, 2 times 0.3, and 3 times 0.1, and we add them up. Let me just write this down here. So that is equal to, so we just go 1 times 0.6, we add 2 times 0.3, and we add 3 times 0.1. So now I just put on the calculator. So I just go 1 times 0.6 is 0.6, and then we add 2 times 0.3 is 0.6, and then 3 times 0.1 is 0.3, at 0.3. So there you go, 1.5. So the answer should be C. So there you go, the answer is C. Next one, which of the following represents the domain of the functions f of x is ln of 1 minus x? So we know that for log functions, we cannot log of a negative number or 0, right? So therefore, 1 minus x must be greater than 0. So in another word, 1 minus x is greater than 0. So keep that in mind. So now I just move this on the side. So negative x, I move on this side, becomes positive x. So in another word, 1 is greater than x. So this means that x is less than 1. So from negative infinity to 1. And don't forget, excluding 1. Don't forget, okay? So therefore, the answer should be D. Now don't forget, C is including 1. So therefore, the answer cannot be, okay? So the answer is D. So keep that in mind. Question number 4. The number of downloads of a song on each of 20 consecutive days is shown in the following graph. So if you have a look at the graph here, so the heading here is number of songs that download each day. And this is number of days, okay? Keep that in mind. And whereas the graph below, these graphs are cumulative frequency graph. So we add up frequency if you like. So now we just have to compare and see which one is for this frequency histogram graph, okay? So look at the frequency histogram graphs here is from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. It increase steady. And on the 7, 8, 9, 10, so the number of download is increased a little bit more. So therefore, on a cumulative frequency graph, so it have a larger gap compared to day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we just have a look at this. So first of all, on option A, so you can see 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 these days. still increasing steady. So cannot be that graph, okay? Because from the frequency histogram graph, 7, 8, 9, 10, the downloads are jump a bit more, okay? So keep that in mind. So where's option C? So these are increased steady, and 7, 8, 9, 10, you can see it's increasing, step up a little bit more. So it's, and then it increase. So it's increased steady, okay, for the cumulative frequency graph. So therefore it should be C. So let's have a look at these option B and D. So for option B, so you can see from 7, 8, 9, 10, they all increase steady. So it cannot be option B, and also option D as well. So 7, 8, 9, 10, it looks like it doesn't increase at all. So therefore the answer should be C. So there you go. Question number 5. Which of the following best represents the graph of y equal to 10 times 0.8 power of x? So first of all, if you think about it, when x is 0, any number that power of 0 is 1. So 0.8 power of 0 is 1, and 10 times 1 is 10. So we need to start with 10. So therefore, when x is 0, y is equal to 10. So therefore, the answer should be A or C. So they both start with 10. Then we need to think a little bit further. Okay, so the easiest way is you can choose a number. Any number that's after 0. Let's say x is equal to 1. So 0.8 power 1 is 0.8. And 10 times 0.8, because 10 times a number that's less than 1, or between 0 and 1 if you like. So the numbers should be lower. So therefore, when x is 1, y must be lower than 10. So therefore, the answer should be A here, because when x is 1 roughly, the number will be less than 10. So it's decreasing, okay? In another word, the graph is decaying, if you like. So therefore, the answer is A. There you go. Question 6. So first of all, we know there are 3 chocolates that have peppermint center. So let me just write this down. So P, we have 3. And we have 5 chocolates have caramel center. So C is equal to 5. So altogether will give me 8. And the question is, what is the probability that Kim and Sam choose chocolates with different centers? So that means peppermint and caramel, or caramel with peppermint. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let me just fill up these number first. So first of all, the first state, let's say Kim already select a peppermint. So that means we have 2 left, because there are 3 peppermint together. So we have 2, and then already 1 chocolate been picked. So we have 7 left altogether. Now for caramel, so caramel we still have 5. So 5 out of 7. So don't forget, these 2 fractions must add up, give me 1. Okay, keep that in mind. And caramel already been selected. So therefore, for peppermint, we still have 3 of them left. So 3 out of 7, because 1 already been picked. And then for caramel, we have 4 out of 7, because 1 already been picked by Kim. So again, these fractions add up must give me 1. So please take note on that. Now we just need to work this out. So this branch here equal to 3 over 8, and we times 5 over 7. And the second one is this one here. We have 5 over 8, and then we times 3 over 7. So what I do is I just add them up. So I just put down my calculator. So I just go 3 over 8, and I times 5 over 7. And then I add 5 over 8, and I times 3 over 7. So there you go, 15 out of 28. So 15 out of 28, so that is D. So there you go. Question 7. So first of all, we know this f of x has a minimum at x is -2. So this means that at this point here, we know that f double dash -2 is because the minimum. So therefore, f double dash minus 2 must be greater than 0. And we know that this is the y-intercept. In another word, f of 0 is less than 0 because it's below the x-axis. And at 3, so this one here, so that means f double dash 3 is less than 0. And we know that the gradient of this is f dash 3 is equal to 0. So we know that the smallest value is f of 0 because f of 0 is negative, right? So that is f of 0 is smaller than f dash 3 because f dash 3 is 0. So f dash 3, and the largest value because f double dash negative 2 is greater than 0. So that means f double dash 2. So the answer should be, we have 0, f dash 3 and f double dash 2. So the answer should be A. So there you go. Question number 8. So first of all, we know that there is a point of inflection here. And it's point of inflections on the positive side of the x-axis. So this means that should be x minus a number power of 3, right? So x minus is a number. So in another word, we can have either B or C because this can be x equal to 2, this also x equal to 2. So either B or C, cannot be A because A is the point inflections at x equal to negative 2. So it cannot be. So the answer is wrong. This one, let me cross this out. And same with D. D has a point inflections at x equal to negative 2. So both are wrong. So we have either B or C is the answer. But then we have a x-intercept here on the negative side of x. So in another word, x must be plus a number. So therefore, we can also have this and this as well. So what I do, I just look at the y-intercept. So when x is 0, so y equal a positive number. So when x equals 0, so this means that 1 times negative 2 power of 3. So that will give you a negative number, right? So therefore, the answer is wrong. It should be positive. So this is wrong. So therefore, the answer should be C. So there you go. Question number 9. Let h of x is f of g of x, where the functions f of x is an odd function and the functions g of x is an even function. So in another word, we have f of x is equal to negative f of negative x. And g of x is an even function. This means g of x equal g of negative x. So please keep that in mind. And the question is, what is the equation of the tangent to y equal h of x, where at x is equal to negative k? And we know that the tangent to y equal h of x at x equal to k has an equation of y equal mx plus c. So this can be very abstract, but the easiest way is we just let f of x is an odd function, a simple odd functions, and let g of x is a simple even functions, and we work out from there. Okay, so we can see the behavior of it. So first of all, let f of x is an odd function. So the simple odd function is equal to x to the power 3. Or you can make it x power 5, x whatever, okay? As long as it's odd functions. And we know that g of x is an even function. And a simple even function is, it can be x power 2, okay? It can be x power 2 plus 1, minus 1, or add a minus a constant, okay? Or x power 4 if you like. So now let's work out h of x. So h of x is equal to, h of x is equal to f of g of x, f of g of x. So therefore, we know that f of x is x to the power 3. So therefore, every time we see x, we replace with g of x. And we know that g of x is x squared. So that becomes x squared power 3. So that will give me x to the power of 6. So in another word, h of x is also an even function because x power of 6 is an even function. So we can just do quickly, just do a quick sketch. Okay, so you can see. So for an even functions, it can be like this, or you can graph underneath or above the x-axis, doesn't matter. I just quickly draw a quick sketch, that's all. So this is h of x. And we have a tangent at x is equal to k, where k is positive. That means the tangent is something like this, okay? Just a rough sketch so you can see this is k. So x is equal to k. And therefore, because they're even functions, so x is negative k is reflecting. Okay, so this is negative k here, and this is a tangent. So this means that if these equations of the tangent have a gradient of m, so these equations also have a gradient of m but negative, so negative m. So therefore it's opposite, okay, if you like, and also have the same y-intercept. So please keep that in mind. So this means that y is equal to, instead of m, is negative mx, and we add the y-intercept, which is c. So c, it can be positive, negative. In this case, because I draw the graph, is in this way, so that's why c is negative. Of course, you can draw an even function upside down if you like. So just a diagram, that's all. So the answer should be B. So there you go. Question number 10. Which of the following statements is true? So first of all, we know this is the cos graph. So this is y is cos of x. So this means that A, now don't forget A is not at the peak point here, okay? This is the one period. Because cosine graph, you start 1 and you end with 1. And A is have to be just before the period. That is 2 pi. Because this period is 2 pi. So this is 2 pi here. So keep that in mind. So we need to interpret. So which of these statements are true? So to work this out, so first of all, we know that this is 2 pi. And A is smaller than 2 pi. Correct? And then we have to find the gradient. To find m first, because we need to find the m. And we know that A is just before 2 pi. So it can be abstract. So easiest way, he would just let A is a number. Okay, so it's just easier, that's all, because it's multiple choice. So 2 pi is 6 point something. And then we just, let me just put that in a calculator, okay? So 1 over 2 pi. So 1 divided by 2 pi. So that is 0.1592. So let me just write this down. 1 over 2 pi is 0.1592. And we know that A is just before 2 pi. So you can let A is equal to 6 or 5.9, 5.8, whatever, okay? So let's just say A is 6. So if A is equal to 6, because just before 2 pi, so 1 over 6, so 1 over A is 1 over 6. Let's say A is 6, okay? So I can just put in a calculator. So give me 0.1666 and so on. Otherwise, you can just use calculator. And then to find the gradient, so we know that if A is 6, so the gradient is rise over run, right? So we have 6 here, and the function is cos of 6. And don't forget, 6 is radian, so I have to convert the calculator to radian mode. So I just go, shift, setup, convert to radian, and I say cos of 6. So there you go, 96. So I write here 6, 0.96. So therefore, the gradient is rise over run. So let me just write here m. The rise, the vertical line here is 0.96 over I is 6. So let me just put on a calculator. So just go, answer divided by 6. So there you go, 0.160. 0.160. So we have m is equal to this, and 1 over A is this, and then 1 over 2 pi is this. So therefore, which one is the smallest? So the smallest is 1 over 2 pi. So we have 1 over 2 pi is the smallest, and followed by the second smallest is m, 1.16, and then followed by 1 over 6, that is 1 over I. So the answer should be 1 over 2 pi m and 1 over I. So the answer should be B. So there you go, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.